whether a number is odd or even. So I explained actually the mod operator, but still when I check the answers, right, I had some issues. So let me start with this one. Okay. Because when we move forward, we're going to do we have to do some hard questions, right? Difficult ones. So better you try to understand these easy ones, then that would be easy for you when it comes to the difficult ones, right? Let me see whether we can copy it. Yes. Right, okay. Right. Anyway, even if you can't read, that's fine. Oh, be small, right? Right now, this is the question. What is the question number? That is, I guess 4. Finding whether a number individual. Okay. Okay. You know the algorithm. Remember, you know the algorithm. So let's start quickly without wasting time. Okay. Now here, this is the start one, right? So I'm going to start like this. Right. Look at this one. Starting. Then okay. After that. Okay, before you finding algorithm, before you find whether number is odd or even, we know you have to input the number. So that's also clear. So what is the input symbol? What is input symbol? That's the parallelogram, right? Okay, parallelogram. Right now, can you all hear me? Is there any issues with the voice? No, right? Right. No, right. Okay, good. So right now, when you mention, when you write this input, right, you have to tell, hold on, I don't know. Right, input, okay, you can define your input as capital number, or even if you can say num, whatever, right? But if you want, you can say number. Either way, you can give. This is important point. Still, some students, they have confusion on this. As I said earlier also, when you define this variable, you can give as either like whatever the name you can give, but the name should be meaningful, right? So if you use a number here, after that, right, in all the calculations, all the places, you have to use the same number, right? You have to use the same number. And can you all change your name to the proper, I mean, the usual the names, right? I mean, the what do you call this? Zoom names. There are a couple of new names, right? Okay. Here, remember this point. Here, you can use any name which should be, which is, what do you call it, meaningful, right? But whenever you refer this in calculations or whatever, right, you have to use that, right? I will explain that. Now, remember after this, right? Now you have input the number. Now, remember I explained how to find the odd or even in the last class. There is an operator we call mod operator. You can use it straight away. A reminder is equal. You take the number and divide it by the mod operator, right? We say the operator, the mod operator. So divide it by the mod operator, number mod 2, right? When you divide the number by 2, remember this, if the number is 15, if you divide it by 2, 7, 14, if there is a remainder, no? So remainder is 1. So we say this is an odd number. And if you take a number like 8 and you divide it by 2, the remainder is 0. There's no remainder. So we say this is an even number. So this is the algorithm basically. This is the algorithm that we are going to use to find the to solve this problem, right? So this is the algorithm. But when you have this type of problem, right? Right. Okay. Now here, what is this? This is actually a process, right? This is actually a process. Some students, they try directly to include this into the condition box, right? That's okay. But usually when you have process, better you complete the process, right? Because there's a there's a special arrangement for the process. So personally, I don't say it's wrong, but it's better if you can complete the process separately. So I'm going to do it that way. So we'll do the process separately here, right? So we'll do the process. The symbol for the process is what? What is the symbol for the process? Right. So rectangular box. So we'll write the process. Now here, maybe you can use a reminder, right? Reminder, or even you can use R. The variable R is equal. Now number mod 2, right? That is my R. Now here, let me make it a little bigger. Right. Okay. Now look at this one. You have to pay the attention, right? I don't know what I mean. Whatever you do, here, look at this one. Now, if your input variable is num, this should be num. If your input variable is number, right, then this should be what? Number, right? And you can have R equal, or maybe even you can say reminder equal. That's all fine. Reminder equal. Is that clear? So that is the second process. Now we have found this we have found the module reminder, right? Now what you have to do? How do you find the even or odd? You have to compare the reminder. So what is the process? As I said, if the reminder is equal 0, we say it's an odd number. If the reminder equal 1, we say that's an even number. Is that clear? Now, so how do you check the condition? There's a condition box, so you can include the condition part, right? So see, now some students, they try to include this whole process inside this. That's a little confusing. That's what I'm saying. That's not necessary, right? You don't need to include the process into that box. If you can separately do it. And some student, what they did was, okay, they just put the process inside the condition box. It's like this: R is equal number mod 2, but that is kind of a this diamond. So inside the diamond, they put this process, and they have this handles also, yes and no. So that's also wrong. That's also wrong. But I didn't put any wrong. Maybe I just highlight the mistakes, right? So if it is remainder is 0, yes, remainder is 0. It's an even number. Okay, remainder is 0. It's an even number. Yes, it's an even number. Right? Now what you have to do is you have to check that condition. Now what is the condition? My R reminder, right? If you want, you can use, if that's okay. If R equal 0, R equals 0, right? If R equals 0, okay, we have two sides. Okay, first, if the R is 0 equals 0, then what you have to do? Hold on. Right. Okay. Now we have to display the message. That's all. If the R is equal 0, we have to tell the user your number is what? Your number is. We have to display. We have to display a message which is saying your number is what? R is equal 0. Your number is even. Can be capital or simple, right? If not, uh, you have to tell, what is that? If not, you have to display the message, right? You have to display the message, display the message on. So now you have to include yes and no. As I okay, as I said earlier also, there's no strict rules on where to put this yes and no, right? Rinas, you can put anywhere. Yes and no. There's no hard and fast rules on that. Okay, now look at this one. So this is the basic structure of this. I mean the basic parts of this flowchart, right? Now, is that clear up to now? See, so when you have a process, always try to include the process, right? Don't put the process inside this the condition box. And now, okay, now we have displayed the messages, right? And this is also important. Yes and no part is also important. You have to mark that, right? Yes and no also important. Now, how do you complete this one? You have to have this what do you call the end box, right? So let me have the inbox here. Now you can say end, and now what you have to do is you have to connect all the outputs to them. So we have one output this side and we have another output from this side. So you have to connect this one as well. Okay, this is how you have to do it. Okay, you can complete it if you have not done this. So if you have any doubt on this, please raise now. You can ask me now. Okay, shall I start the next one? Shall we go to the next one? If anyone writing this, please raise the hand. If anyone are writing this, you can raise the hand. Okay, okay, finish it quickly. Okay, next one. Okay, next one. Enter the temperature in degrees Celsius. If it is more than, okay, this also, I think most of you did this correctly. Anyway, let me do this one also. Right, now, look at this question. Hamdi, I think you didn't send the answers, right? Right, Hamdi, I can remember some names. So start, so we'll start this one. So since if you are not working on the homeworks, I will be talking to your parents this time, right? So let's see, okay. Now look at this one. Which one? The enter the temperature in degrees Celsius. Okay, now we are taking a temperature. Okay, now what is the input here? What is the input? What is input in this case? We know it's the temperature. So yes, we can take the input, it's a temperature. So we say input. Now here we have, do we have to say, yeah, if you say like temperature underscore Celsius, that's also fine, right? Yes, even if you say temperature, that's also fine. Look at this one. You can use input, right? Input temperature underscore Celsius, or even you can use input temperature, whatever, right? Or even you can use the whole temperature, whole spelling, right? Temperature. All these are correct, right? But since we have only one temperature, I think we don't need to specifically say Celsius and Fahrenheit, because we are only dealing with one Celsius. Everything is on Celsius now. So if you just say temp, that's also enough. Okay, I'm not saying if you say if you use temperature underscore Celsius is wrong, but that's fine. But we'll do it this way, right? Okay, now what is the first thing? If the temp, you have to check the condition. Okay, what is the first condition? What is the first condition? Can someone read the condition for me? What is the first condition? Yes, Atika, what is the first condition?
If the temperature is more than or equal to 37 degrees Celsius, display as hot.
Okay, more than or greater than or equal, right? So you know when you, okay, this is another point. Greater than or equal, we don't write like this in mathematics, right? This is wrong. You can't actually type it. So you have to type like this, greater than or equal, right? Again, when you compare this temp and this one should be similar, because we are using the similar variables. This is what you call that variable thing. These are containers, right? As I said in the earlier class, these are, jugs, right? Different containers. So you are saying my chili is in this box, but you are taking the chili from, let's say, sugar box. It's wrong, no? Right? You are not going to get the chili at the end. So you have to mention the correct variable name here. So if the temperature is greater than 37, right? What should be the message you have to display? We have to display, is it hot? Hot, right? Okay, is that clear? Okay, now this is it, if the condition is true, no? The condition is true, you have to say yes. Okay, you have to display the this is hot, very hot, yes, right. Now we'll come to the no part. If it is no, Salhansi, if it is the condition is false, still we have a second condition. Can you see that? Read the question again, right? See, enter the temperature in degrees Celsius. If it is more than or equal to 30, that is first condition. This is the first one, right? If it is less than or equal to 70. Now we have three conditions. Look at this one, right? This is, I think, this is easy. We have three conditions. If greater than or equal to 37, we say it's hot. Less than or equal to 17, we say cold. Okay, now you are putting a temperature. Okay, you are entering a temperature. Let's say your temperature is 20. So what would be the output? What would be, this is your input. This is the input. You are saying 20 Celsius. So what should be displayed in the screen? No, it's not more than
Average.
that is average. We say average. Now that is the idea, right? That's the basic idea here. Now if you let's say if you put here like 55, so what should be the message? 55 mean, we know that is what? 55 is hot. So now let's say your now when you type this first one, right? Let's say it's like 15 now. Right now, what happens? Now we have the first condition, right? Okay, it's less than or equal 37. Sorry, greater than or equal 37. We know the system knows what to do, right? But now we have a second condition, that is what? If this is less than or equal to 17, so you can include that one. If temperature less than or equal to 17, right? If the temperature, can you see this? 17, right? Now, if this condition is true, what you have to do? If this condition is true, you have to display the message, right? What is the message here? Again, you have to display the message, display. Salhan, see this, okay? Display, what should be the message? It's cold. It says cold, right? Am I right? Okay. Right, now we are done with this. Now, right, now let's say you are, okay, this is actually, this comes, give me a minute, okay. Yes, okay, this is yes, and I missed this one also. So I should have a no here, no. If the first condition is false only, if the first condition is false only, this comes to the second one. Now, look at this one. So I'm entering a temperature, So can you explain this step again? Okay. Now, yes, Lakshmi, wait. So, okay, I'm entering a temperature. Let's say my temperature here. Okay. Now, if I enter 10 degrees. Okay. Now look at this one. If I enter 10 degrees, I'm saying 10 degrees, right? Now what happens? Programs, okay, the input temperature is 10. This is the input. Now it checked the first condition. Is this true? The first part is true. What do you think? Temperature greater than or equal 37, is that true? No, it's not true, right? It's not true. Now what will happen? Program go to yes part or no part? No. So let's say program is like a man, he's traveling, right? So he has this 10-degree data in his hand. Okay, he has this 10-degree data. So he's like traveling down, right? Tracing down this tree. So he comes to this point. He has 10 degrees, right? So the condition is true or false. 10-degree mean it's false. So so he can't go to this side. He can't go to this side. So he has to travel this side. Is that clear? Now what happens when he comes to this side? Now what happens? Now again he checked the condition. Again he checked the condition. He has 10 degrees, right? Now here, now again, now this is less than or equal 70. If the condition is true, now which side he can go to? Yes side, no, because he has 10 degree, no. So he can display. But what happens if both conditions are false? Now there's another question, right? So wait, I will make it clear. Okay, now if the condition is false, what happens? You have to display the average. Why do you display the average now? Now, okay, now this is the no part, right? This is the no part. Now look at this one, right? Now let's say, okay, if I ask you, Lakshmi, look at this one. Okay, now we have a temperature. We have an input temperature. I said 10 degree, no, 10 degree. Okay, when you enter 10 degree, according to this theory, according to this question, what should be the message? If you have 10 degrees, right, according to this one, what should be the message? Is it hot or cold or average? If yes, better everyone try, I mean, try to involve here, right? Even if you are king of this flow chart, that's okay. You just try to involve into the class, right? That's good for you. Uh, Always think that every day, okay, I'm going to learn a new lesson from today. Okay, even though you have completed this, because some I noticed some issues, but I didn't correct it. I mean, I didn't put wrong, right? So then don't think that I got it right everything, so I don't need to watch this, so I know this. No. So there are, when there are common mistakes, I usually don't put wrong, because I don't put right or wrong, because I have a note, I have a notebook, I usually note down there, so I can discuss that with everyone, right? Okay. Now here, now let's say you are entering a temperature 10 degrees, right? Now, okay, here what happens is, we know if it is 10 degrees, what should be the message? It's a average one. So you should see a message called average one. So what happens when you enter 10 degree here? Okay, this person comes to here, first box, right? The condition is false, right? Because it's less than 37. So he comes to second box. Is that clear? So again, now what happens? He checked less than or equal to 17. Now his condition is true, so he can display code. Now let's say we have a temperature in between, or not 10 degree, let's say 20 degree. Now what will happen? If you have a temperature 20 degrees, what will happen? This is 20, no? Okay, let's say this is 20. Lakshmi, see this. If you have 20 degrees, what will happen? He come to the first box. The condition is true or false with the 20 degrees. 20 degrees, the first box, the condition is true or false?
False.
False. So they travel, I mean, he traveled to the second box, right? The second box, what do you think the condition? What do you think about the condition? The second box, less than or equal to 17?
False.
False. Again, then he travels bottom. Now, when both conditions, okay, this is not greater than 37, not less than 17, then you have to display the message basically. Now you don't need to check it, because whatever, because you have only two conditions. So display should be other way, display message average, right? So so this is fine. If you draw like this, this is it, right? Now, is that clear? Now you can have your the final step, that is the end one. Oops. So let's have the last box here. So we can end this. Is this clear, Salhan? So if I still have problem, you can talk to me. So now you can connect this, right? So now when you connect it, wait, I can't do it perfectly. Right, okay. Now look at this one. Okay, this should be a straight line. Okay. Okay, done. Okay. Now here, maybe some students they change this side, they put this into this side. That's okay. That's also okay. But so better if you keep everything one side. Now look at this one. What is the problem with this one? Is this complete? Zuhra, can you tell me what is the problem here?
The arrow should be joined to display called as well.
Yes, why is that? Everything should be connected to the end. So if you look at this one, right? Okay, if a person, let's say if a person, okay, traveling, like he has temperature, let's say 10 degrees, right? If he travels, he comes to this box, condition is true, false, comes to this box, then condition is true. He comes here, now it's like, he can't go out now because this is not connected here. He can't go out. So you have to connect everything. You have to connect everything. That's another point. So these are some basics, right? So you can connect this one as well. Is that clear now? So the basic idea is every output should be connected to the end. Sir, can we connect more than one output for end? Yes. So you have no, normally we don't do this way. I think what you're asking is, no, we don't do like this. Normally we don't do that, but still you can. If you look at this one here, yes, Umar, you can correct it. See, we have already connected like this, no? So that's okay. I will give you some rules, right? I have written down rules. I will give it later, right? Because you can't memorize and practice the rules. No, you have to practice this. Let's say if you are playing cricket or something, you can't. Maybe you know all the rules, but you have to play it, right? You have to play and learn. Just because you know the rules, you can't play the match cricket or any sports like that. Okay. So here, right. And again, I think with some other students, still I noticed this problem. When you display a message, when you display just a message, always you have to include within double quotation. Or maybe a single quotation, okay, but we say double quotation. But don't say display hot. This is wrong. This is a very basic idea here. So you should remember this. I will explain why is that, right? If you want to display something inside the variable, we use like this, but I will come to that later. Now, what you have to remember is you have to use the double quotation, right? Okay, if you want, you can quickly note it down this. If you have not done already, just complete this quickly because we want to move to the new questions. Why should we add average in it? That is the question, right? That is the question. Let's say, okay, now you have a temperature. They are saying if greater than 37, if a temperature is greater than 30, equal to 37, it's hot. Okay. Less than or equal to 17, they are saying it's cold. Now, can you, have you noticed there are in between temperatures? Because this is greater than, okay, if you draw this, what you call this number line, right? Okay, greater than 37, okay, that is hot. Less than 17 also done, okay? It's like this. 37 or greater, this is we say hot. Or less than or 17, we say cold, okay? So what about this range? That's why we have average, right? Because when you write a program, we will learn later, you should consider all the options, because you can't tell the user don't enter the temperatures in between 17 and 37 because I have not taken care of that in my program. You can't say that to the users. So you have to consider all the possible inputs, right? But here you don't need to worry. In your level, they always give everything. So no need to worry about that. So that's why we have to consider average as well. Otherwise, it's not complete. A temperature can be anything between 0 to something. Let's say 100. Any questions from this? Please, if you tried, you can ask, right? If not, I don't know. Okay. Is anyone copying this? So if you have not done the homework, like I don't know whether you can follow this. Okay, we will move on to the next one. Right, write down this question. Write down the question. Enter the index number. Enter the index number. Enter the index number. This is the question of a student. And you know, usually, okay, I will, okay, first finish write down this. Okay, enter the index number of a student and divide it by 4. Right? So this is the question. If the remainder is 1, label as Samsung house. Okay, you can give any house name if you want. Okay. If the remainder is 2, label as Apple house. And if the remainder is 3, you should label as MI house. These are type of, you know, for brand names of the mobile phones, but you can give any name, right? And if the remainder is 0, label as Oppo house. Okay, so you basically enter the index number of a student and divide it by 4. If the remainder is 1, label as Samsung house. You have to say the house name is Samsung. It's for the sports means, right? So we say we want to divide the house. Usually, but what we do, right, in the school, take the index number. Let's say. Can anyone tell me? Okay, let's say this is an index number 1201. Okay, we divide it by 4. What is the remainder here? What is the remainder here? So we have index number. So what is the remainder? Is it 0 or 1? So I have two answers, 0 and 1. So remainder is 1, right? Remainder is 1, not 0, 1. So divided by 4. So remainder is 1. Then what should be the house? Samsung. So he should go to, this student should go to Samsung. Okay, Samsung. Let's say another number, 1024. Divide by 4. What is the remainder here? What is the remainder here? If you divide it by 4, now it's 0. Yes, now 0. Then what should be the house? He should go to which house? 0 is labeled as Oppo. Right? Okay, yeah, let me explain this little so you can do it easily. Let me. Okay, look at this one. Let's take index number. Let's take the index number 121. So if you divide this by 4, so reminder we said 1, no? So what is the house? It's Samsung. It's Samsung. Samsung. If you have a reminder, if you have a number, index number 202, if you divide it by 4, what is the reminder here? What is the reminder here? Hello? 0, is it?
Apple house.
Number 2, no? Number 2 and let's say Apple. Apple, okay. Then let's take another index number 3, divided by 4. So reminder is 3, no? What is the house? MI. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we go to the next student. 1204 divided by 4. So what is the reminder here? We say R equal 0. Reminder is 0. So what should be the house? Oppo. Right? Okay, now let's take next student. That is interesting one. Now we have done with everything now. Right? So we'll take next one. 1205 divided by 4. So what is the reminder here? What is the reminder? I want you guys to try. What is the reminder? Is it 2 or 1? 1. Now what is the house? What is the house again? Is also goes to this one. So 120. Let's take another one. 1206. 1206. I can't write it. Okay. Oops. 1206. What is the reminder here? 1206. If you say 1206, what is the reminder? In this case, is it 2? Yeah, 2. So again, house, he goes to Apple. So now you can try any numbers, right? Always, right? Since we are dividing by 4, dividing by 4, you know, the remainder will be always less than or less than 4, right? So you will get reminders from 0, 1, 2, 3. Although you don't need this for this program, but I'm just saying. Right now, the idea here is whatever the index number is, always the reminders falls right into these categories. Right, whatever the index number, when you divide it by 4, you will end up in 1, 2, 3, or 0. These are the 4 reminders. Is that clear? You just try any number. You can try any number. Let's say index number. You can say index number 12. 15. Okay, divided by 4. What is the reminder? 12, 15. What is the reminder? 4, 12, 4 is it 3? So reminder is 3. Right? So that's why if anything, the reminder always between reminders are in between 0, like 1, 2, and 3. Is that clear? So now you can draw the flowcharts. So these are the 4 options you have. So you have to check the reminder, take the student's index number, get the process, right? Now you have the calculation for the reminders. Now you have to put the students into various, various groups, houses. Okay, can you draw the flow chart? I will give you 5 minutes time. you can you can WhatsApp me the answers. If you have finished, you can WhatsApp me the answers. Yes, Hamdi. Very good, Hamdi. Correct. The answer seems okay. But there's a mistake, not a small one. There's a big mistake. Check your branches. Where's yes, no part? There's a mistake in the last also, but that's not a mistake. But I will explain that. That's okay. Seems overall it's okay, but the main mistake, Hamdi, in your one, you didn't put the yes, no. That's a big mistake. Correct that. Arakam. Hamdi, where's the process? Or is there a process? Right, okay. Arakam. Arakam, so where you input the variable? So you miss the input part. Others seems okay, but you miss the input part. Okay, Rida seems okay. There's a small thing I will tell you. That's a common thing. I will explain that. But otherwise, it's fine, Rida. Rida, right? Your answer also fine. Okay, so I have received 3 answers. So Hamdi, you have missed the yes and no part in the branches. Can you hear me? Then that's important. Arakam, you have missed the input. See, input the index number. No? So and the process box also wrong, Arakam. So because the process should be in a rectangle, but you have used a parallelogram. So correct those things. How about others? So I have given a start here. Maybe this is how you start this. After that, you can build this. You can slowly build this.
Okay, how about others? How many of you completed this? Even if you don't, if you can't, can we say display if the question says label? Yes, 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 you can say. That's actually displaying, right? Whenever you display a message to the screen, you can say display. Salhan. Yes. Salhan, when you say the index number, we don't type it into like look at this one. We don't say index dash sorry space number. You have to connect it with the dash. Last week also I said you have to use a single word. Okay. And your process also wrong, Salhan. We don't divide this one. We don't divide it by 4. Then that's wrong. If you divide index number by 4, that's wrong because we are only considering the reminder. So when you divide it, you don't get the reminder. So division, when you divide it, you will get, let's say, if you divide 12 by 4, to let's say, what is the answer? That is 3. So that's also wrong. So your process also wrong. Right? Okay, if you don't have space, you have to connect it. Wait, so Salhan's, okay, other than that, that's okay. So Salhan, correct this, your process is wrong and connect this input variables. So Raisa, yes, when you have, yeah, Raisa, yeah, you have to connect it. But you can, I mean, when you draw this in the exam, if in case, right, you have this big like A4 size sheets, no, so you can draw it easily. Umar, you don't say reminder is 1, you can say just reminder is equal to 1. If r equal 1, r equal to, or reminder equal 1, reminder equal 2, that's way, that's you can, but you don't need to say the reminder is 1. Okay. Yes, Arthika's one is the perfect, it's correct, right? Yeah, Atika, yeah, your one is the only one, the perfect one, I guess, because others we had some issue. Yes, Uzma's one also correct, right? Index number into the index. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. Uzma, your one also okay, right? So I have sent to you. Yes, Riza, your one is fine, but the thing is, so you are, I mean, jump. I mean, you left. Okay. Now I got everything now. Yes. Okay, your one is okay, but there's a small issue. I will explain that. Right. Anyone else?
Zuhra. Okay, Zuhra's one is okay. Okay, let's see. Right, now let's try to, okay, let's do this one, right? So, okay, now the first thing, right, you know the question, so we have to get the index number and divide it by 4, right? Okay, now here first you get the index number, come, you don't forget that, you get the index number, that's the input part. After that the process should be there, right? You divide the index number that by 4. I will check your answer in us after this, right? Now we have, okay, now what you have to do, you have the reminder. What you have to do, you have to check the reminder. So that's the condition, the what do you call this diamond, right? Okay. Now you can say if my reminder is r equal 1. Okay. If that condition, if the reminder equal 1, that means when you divide it by the index number by 4, if you get reminder as 1, okay, what should be the house? What should be the house you have to assign? Or you have to display, let's say we display, right? We display this person as display Samsung, no? If I'm not mistaken, Samsung house. Okay, Samsung. Is that clear? So now this is actually when this part is, if the condition is true, no, this is yes part, right? If the condition is true, so you should include that also. So we'll put the yes box, yes label, right? So we'll write down yes. So if the condition is true, right? Is that clear? Right. Now, if the condition is false, what you have to do? If the condition is false, right? First, we have to. Okay, we know the reminder can be, there is 4 options, right? Either R can be 1 or 2, 3 or 0. These are the options, right? So we have to check all these 4 options, right? Okay. Oh, okay. Now we will. Okay, we check the first one. If the R is 1, okay, this is the output. If not, we have the second condition, right? We have the second condition. So you have to say if R equal to, right? So if the reminder, if you say the reminder, right here, you have to be careful. If you use here in this one, if you say reminder, then everywhere you have to use reminder. Don't say R. But if you use R, yes, you can of course use R. Is that clear, Rima? Right? Okay. Now you have 2 sides here. Yes and no, no. So first finish the no part. We'll put this no as well. Right? Okay. Okay. Done. Okay. This is how you complete the first step. When you draw these conditions, right? First complete the first step. So you draw everything with yes and no. Otherwise, you will forget this yes and no. Right. Now what happens if the reminder is 2? What you have to do? If the reminder is 2, what you have to do? Can someone tell me? You have to display as what? Display the message. What?
Apple house.
Apple. Okay. Apple house. No, I missed the house. I've just put Apple. Okay. Okay. Apple. Right. So we are done with that also. Right. Now, this is actually again, if the condition is true, no, so you can copy or you can say the same yes here. Get a copy of yes. Right. Yes. Right now we have if the condition is wrong, no, right? So we have to move to the next one. Let me clear this one. Right now, next one. Right, still we have options, right? So we have checked only two conditions, so we have to check the other one. Third one, what is the third one? If the remainder is 3, right? The remainder is 3. Okay, if r equal 3, okay, what you have to say? If the remainder is 3, you have to display as, what is the house name? Can someone tell me what is the house name, please?
In my house.
MI. Okay, let's say MI. Right, you can include the house. That's not. I'm just writing. So can we add r equals 0? Yeah. You can start that way also. Hakima or no? I will check your answer because I will check once finish this. Okay. Right now we have yes. If the condition is true, you have to do. So these are like no part. Okay. If the condition is no. Right. Now, next one. What is next one? What is next one? Now that is the import point. Now look at this one, right? Stop all your work. Okay. Now I said always, right? When you divide a number by 4, how many of I mean, for the remainder, we can have 1, 2, 3, and 0. These are the only 4 options, right? You can have. Okay, we check for the 1, second, 2 also we done, 3 also done. Okay, then what is the last one? That is 0. Right now, let's say you are entering index number. If that index number is not 4, if the remainder is not equal to 1, if the remainder is not equal to 2, if the remainder is not equal to 3, then what should be the remainder?
0.
0. Then do we have to check the 0? No,
No.
because automatically we know if this condition is false, right? If this condition is false, then the remainder automatically that is 0. Because we know always we have 4 options. So you can straight away say display, even if you check that is okay, right? That is okay, but it's not necessary. What is the house? Samsung, Apple, MI, and what is that other house?
Oppo house.
Oh, right, okay. Right, now see, you can stop like this. So if this condition is false, right? This is where most of you didn't do correctly. See, you can stop like this. Because if the condition is not true, right? We know the remainder is 4. So now you can end this one. Okay, you can have the end part here. This is the end of it. So we connect everything as usual. Connect everything. So if you don't have room, you have to use the connectors, right? Right. So this is how it looks like. Okay. Right. See, you can complete your answers, right? So last part, this is important. Can you all see this diagram? Is that clear? Right. Right. Now look at this one now. If you have any question, please ask me here. Please, if you have any questions, right? Anything if you see is not clear. So if we put selection for 0 also, is it wrong? It's not wrong, Raisa, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary because usually when you say, okay, when you have like here we know when all the conditions are when it is not R1 or 2 or 3, then it's automatically it should be the last one. So it's not necessary. But even if you check that, that's okay. That's not wrong. That's not wrong. Eh? Okay. So Hakima, you deleted the answer. Okay. So now you can update your ones. Any questions? Don't you have to practice, right? I will give some exercises after this also, because probably next week we won't be able to have the class because festival, right? Hajj festival. But the paper class, I don't know if you have any problem because I try to help you by changing the time as well because I thought it's because of the power cut. Because still, again, they are going to increase the power cut now. The problem is from next week, I will be starting flowchart. So the unit 1 past paper questions, right? So we'll start with the MCQ from next week. So you have to take it seriously, the past paper class as well. Because if you know the theory, what we learn in this theory class and the past paper questions are a little different when it comes to the unit 1. Keep this in your mind. Unit 1, theory and the past paper questions are a little different. You have to practice the past paper question again. It's not just the application. You learn the theory, so they ask question like unit 3. If you go to unit 3, you just learn the theory. So after that, you can just write down the answers. You just memorize it, or maybe whatever you can write the answer. Or even if you go to HTML, you remember the theory, you can write the answers. But with the unit 5, unit 2 also same. You just remember the theory, you write the answer. Unit 6 also same in grade level, right? But unit 1 is different. You have to practice this question. You have to practice the past papers. That's the important thing. So I'll be doing that maybe from next week in the past paper class. So you have to come to that as well. Right. We'll do another question. Is anyone writing? Okay, now you can try this question at home. Please note down this. Note down this question. Very similar to this one, but don't do it now. You can try it at home. Input a marks. This is the one. Input a marks and display the grade as given below. Right, next question. Input a marks and display the grade as given below. Okay, write down this. Marks greater or equal 75. You can say a grade equal A. So write down this question first. If marks greater or equal 75, say grade equal A. Then marks greater or equal 65, grade equal B. Marks greater or equal 55, grade equal grade C. Then the last one, marks less than 55, grade F. So you can try, everyone. You can try this one. You follow the same. That is very similar to this one, but there's a shortcut also. If you are like, if you are a person like to try new things, you can do it in another way. This one, maybe you can think. Okay. Next question. Write down this one. Find the smallest number from positive numbers. Sorry. Find the smallest number from two positive numbers. Check for equal numbers also. So we didn't do the sixth question. Did we do the, what do you mean? You don't need the sixth one. Right, okay. Maybe you can change the number, right? If it is 7 in your book, you can make it 7, right? That's okay. So write down the 8th one and the 9th one. 8th one and the 9th one. 8th one, you can do it as homework. Do it as homework. So I will send another homework maybe later. You have a free time because next week also we don't have class. But next week, Saturday, we will be having the paper class. Saturday, we'll do the paper class. But Sunday, we will take a holiday. Saturday, we will have the paper class, okay? Sunday, no class. Right? So 8th one, try it as a homework. 9th one, you have to do it now. 9th one is very easy. So you do it now. Some people write, okay, Raid and Shihan. So Sarah. So I don't see your answers, guys. Zahrin, Kirtika, Nirukshi. Maybe if you have problem, if you have, I mean, if you see, I mean, if you think, I should explain little more, you just tell me, right? Right. So you can do the 9th one now. So how did you do this in the schools? Are they doing questions like this or just they explain the theory? So can you draw the flow chart for this question here? Okay. Yes, Umar, if you are doing the same lesson, so you are doing the same exercise, I don't think. So you have, our madam gave questions, draw the flow charts and told us to copy. Okay. That is easiest way, okay. Right, okay. I'm just want because I just want to get feedback because I mean so we can we can see right how things happening around us. All right, okay, good question. Right, okay, I'll explain that. Okay, we'll see how to do this now. Right, find the smallest number from two positive numbers. Check the equal number. Okay, right? We'll do this question. So what is check for equal numbers? Yes, okay. That's good thing because that means when you're asking question means you're thinking, right? You're thinking, is this 981? Okay, whatever, right? Right. Okay, tell me how do you find out the smallest number from two positive numbers? Let's say you have two positive numbers, like because we are not worrying about the negative numbers. So let's say we have numbers 15 and 10. How do we find out which is the smallest number? Okay. How do we do this? What is the algorithm? So you have to think, we say the method, no, we say method. So what is the algorithm here? You can just share, right? You can tell me whatever, maybe it's wrong. Subtract, very good. Subtract is one method. Yes, okay. When you subtract, yes, go ahead, Arkam. Okay, just subtracting, can you tell me which one is positive? Let's say you have n1, n2, two numbers. If you subtract, okay, then how do you say which one is smallest? Okay. Is there any other methods? Is there any other methods which we can apply here? Comparing. Very good. You can compare it. Yes. How did the positive number become the largest? Yes. Simplest one is, okay, we have two numbers. You compare these two numbers. Let's say we have two numbers. We don't know the numbers. First number is number 1. And second number, okay, let me say number 1 and number 2. First number is number 1 and second number is number 2. To compare these two, right? If the number 1 is greater than number 2, what would be the other way? Sorry. If number 1 is less than number 2, which one is smaller? Which one is smaller? To compare these two, right? Let's say number 1 is smaller than number 2. So what is the smallest one here? Number 1. Very good. Number 1. Otherwise, if this is otherwise, opposite to this, then which one is smaller? You can write that, no? For example, you have a number, let's say this is 15, less than 25. So we say smaller number is 15. Or you have other way, like let's say you have 25, right? We have let's say 35, right? So same, right? Like that, you can compare these two numbers basically. Yes, you can compare these. Is that clear? But the thing is, check for equal number. That means, right? Okay. Now, there's one option. Okay, you have one number 1. Right. Okay. Now you have one option. Number 1 can be less than number 2. Right? Number 1. Or number 1 may be this way. What is the third option? What is the third option? What is the third option? These numbers both can be equal. So you have to check that in your flowchart. Is that clear? When you do the flowchart, you have to check that as well. Because if the number 1 and number 2 are equal, we can't say number 2 is smaller. No? So you can't take it that, right? Is that clear? So now we have a problem. So we have a problem. How do we start this? Okay, now how do we start this type of flowchart? Right? No. Okay, now we have that problem. Check for equal number. Yes. If you find both numbers are equal, you can display the message as what? As you can display the message as equal. Numbers are equal. You can say numbers are equal. Okay, try to do the flowchart. Maybe this is the last flowchart, so don't worry. We'll stop after this. Can we draw 3 options, sir? Smallest number, biggest number, and equal. Find the smallest number from 2 positive numbers. Yeah, you can. First, Zaharin, when you have a number, if it is not smaller, then automatically one number should be smaller, then the other is bigger, right? So you have when you have a smaller number, then you know the other one is bigger one. So you have only that option, right? If it is not satisfying that, then it's automatically we know it's equal then.